Congratulations to Manchester City, who win their first ever Champions League. They complete an historic, an everlasting, a spellbinding treble. Only the second English team ever to win the treble. Congratulations to Pep. Congratulations to Manchester City. Congratulations to Rodri for the stunning winner. The fantastic goal from him. A hard-fought game. A difficult game for City. I think Inter Milan really did themselves proud. They did better than the majority of us thought that they would, but it felt inevitable. Akanji with 2 catastrophic mistakes. Inter couldn't score. Lukaku with the best block I've ever seen from a striker to deny Inter a goal. And I'm now calling him Lukaku the Pony. After missing a point-blank header in the last minute of the game. A good save from Ederson, but he should be scoring from there, no doubt about it whatsoever. Lukaku bottled it big time tonight. He let his team down. He let himself down. He let his family down tonight. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But tonight does belong. It belongs to Manchester City, as I say, who match the greatest ever season in the history of English football by matching Man United's 1999 treble-winning team. It surpasses anything that Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Forest, Everton have ever done in a singular season. I know how beautiful, how historic, how everlasting, how amazing this achievement is. And I want to congratulate every Manchester City fan around the world that is celebrating this. It pains me personally to say it because it's been an achievement that for the past 24 years has belonged solely to Manchester United, the only team to do the treble in England. But well done to Man City for doing it. I know how hard it is. It's harder than going unbeaten. It is harder than 100 points. It's the hardest thing you will ever do. Winning 2 massive finals, getting over the line to win your league. It is absolutely... And the thing is, it comes with 3 trophies. It comes with 3 trophies, which is what football is all about. The record itself is the trophies. It's not an achievement within one trophy. The record is literally the trophies. It's sensational. And I'm sure on the show tonight, when my panel joins me, when we take calls, we're going to go into that with a lot more detail. We really will. But I want you to do me a favor, first of all, and smash the like button. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you have the bell notifications turned on as well. It's going to be a busy summer on the Football Terrace. And of course, we're sponsored by our friends. We have been all season at Tops Now. I'm telling you now, City fans, you want to be buying the playing cards that come out from this final because they are going to be worth some serious money in the future as a collectible item. Scan the QR code on the screen now to go and get signed up to Tops Now. They're cheap to buy. They'll grow in value in the future because tonight is it's not every finals history. This is more than just history. City joined just one of what, 8 teams ever to have done the treble? Might even be less. It might even be 6. Maybe they're number 7. In terms of that, get downloading, get signed up to Tops Now as soon as you can. Let's take a look at some of your super chats here. Inter surprised everyone. Lukaku and Martinez, shame. Yeah, they were both really poor tonight. They were absolutely poor, out of their depth. And Lukaku tonight, his performance reminded me of the game against Croatia at the World Cup. Diabolical. As a United fan, congratulations to Man City. Shame on all the haters in the chat is what Tad says. As much as I hate to say it, it's huge respect to City. They have dominated the league and now won it in Europe too. United and Paul still bigger overall, but City are catching up. Our owners have got to spend. Of course, they are closing in massively and quickly on the Liverpools and the Man Uniteds. We still, I think, 20-odd trophies, 20 to 30 trophies clear of them. Your 5 more Champions Leagues. We've got 2 more Champions Leagues, umpteen more league titles. But when you look at them as a not a club overall, but when you look at them as a team, this is in the top 2 greatest English teams of all time, in my opinion. 5 Premier Leagues in 7 years. the treble, which is the hardest achievement in football. They deserve nothing but congratulations. City better hope these charges clear, but congrats. Look, I know in the back of City fans' minds that will be there. That trial will happen. We will find the outcome. And if they're found guilty, this will all be stripped away from history, whether literally or in the memories of fans. But until that point, they're innocent until proven guilty. We've not been presented with any evidence. Let's wait and see how that cookie crumbles. Lukaku to United. Here we go. No, thank you, Gav. I can see the pain, Terry, but at least the treble will stay in Manchester. Well, the treble stays with Man United. And this is one thing I will say to people, bitter or no bitterness, I don't care what people say. Man United's treble doesn't disappear today. We still have a treble. There's this weird narrative that's been created that we lose our history because City match it. No, they just surpass everybody else. They just surpass everybody else and come and sit with us. That's it. So, yeah, listen, I love being the only team with it. But my club's treble, like, they've done it now. It doesn't make me feel any less proud of my treble. My question is to rivals that are bantering Man United. Talk to me about how you feel about your treble. Hi, Terry, mate. Donny James here. City deserve it. I agree with you. City definitely deserve it. They've been the best team in the Champions League this year. They're the better team on the night for me, overall, in my opinion. Best team in the league. And they deserve to win the FA Cup. So they deserve all the 3 trophies. They deserve the treble. And what Pep Guardiola has done in the last 7 years has been nothing short of sensational. So they deserve it 110%. No bitterness at all from me. Haaland didn't show up in the clutch. Very quiet. He had a very quiet end to the season, Haaland. But that is why it's a team sport. This man's got years to score in finals, years to deliver in Champions League finals. And I'm sure that he will. Just because he didn't do it in one doesn't mean he won't do it in others. So, yeah, quiet night for him. But I don't think City fans will give a damn tonight. Edison, better than Alisson. You all laughed at me, and he won the Champions League, baby. We bigger than Arsenal, and the treble better than United's little City, you know. Well, you guys deserve it. I'm not going to get into the debates tonight as whether the treble is better or not. City fans, this is why we will debate it. City fans are going to say them. Real Man United fans will say us. And then you get a few Man United fans who love to bend over and part their cheeks for rival fans. They love it. They love it. They love a bit of buggery. They will say Cities. And I can tell you who they're going to. I know it. So, yeah, there we go. Salt towards City in the live chat is ridiculous. Can't wait to call in later. Well, we'll open those lines up for you. Inzaghi would be good for Man United if Ten Hag fails. Maybe. Maybe now Arsenal fans will wake up and demand better, is what Tito says. Needed Lukaku to score. Now we'll never sell him, is what Alex says. Clearly a Chelsea fan there. Good for City. United are behind because of the Glazers, 110%. And make sure that like button is being smashed, as you say. The trophy will be presented to, and I'm sure that some City fans will join us maybe. Weak treble versus strong treble. Fergie eclipsed. I mean, this is the thing. Fergie can't be eclipsed. That's just a nonsense. Because if Fergie's been eclipsed and it was the greatest ever, that means every other manager has been eclipsed by already. And for years, people debated that other managers were ahead of Fergie. So where does that sit and where does it lie in the overall picture of football? Plus, when you say weak, look who the teams Man United beat in their Champions League run compared to the team City beat this year in terms of quality of those sides. We can have that debate all day long, but Fergie hasn't been eclipsed. I'm saying, well, the difference is with me, I'm not playing down anything City have done. I'm saying well done to them. I wonder if rivals can do the same and show some decorum tonight. Can I give a mention to Bernardo Silva? So many people focus on goals, but a player that caresses the ball and never loses it deserves more praise. You know, I'm not going to lie, I thought he had a quiet game tonight, if I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't necessarily think I don't think any of the City attackers were that great tonight. After the goal, when it opened up, they were better. Tonight was a game of midfielders and defenders. I actually think the Inter defenders are great for large parts of the game. I thought the City midfield again, Stones and Rodri, either one of them two man of the match. You'd probably give it to Rodri for scoring the winner and maybe the most important goal. Now, maybe it passes Aguero's goal for importance because it's a treble, or maybe you still look at Aguero's goal as the better one because it started this. But yeah, look, I thought Bernardo Silva's brilliant. I didn't think he was that great tonight. Pep killed Fergie twice in the Champions League, therefore eclipsed. Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. Fergie will never be eclipsed. Fergie is goated. Fergie will always be amazing. Can't you just praise City without attacking Fergie? Like, why not? Why can't you have the decorum, my friend? I like you as a super chatter, but Fergie is never going to be eclipsed. He can't be eclipsed in terms of Premier League achievements until you surpass all these Premier League and European achievements and English achievements in that time. So when he has 14 Premier Leagues, more than 2 Champions Leagues, more domestic trophies, then he's been eclipsed. Until that point, it hasn't happened. It can't happen. Otherwise, you can turn around and say a team with 4 Champions Leagues eclipses another team with 6. That doesn't make sense. You've got to do more than, my friend. You've got to do more than, in my opinion. Preston North End won the first English league. Being the first can't be erased. Of course it can't. It never does get erased. It never, ever does. Terry, don't be salty. Keep your hair on. I'm not being salty, my bro. I'm praising City every step of the way. Not one negative word said about City. Where's the salt? I'm just not going to have people say Fergie's achievements have been eclipsed when they're not. It's just crazy. This ain't talk sport. But there we go. Pep has more trophies than Fergie in different leagues. Fergie has more trophies overall. And if you want to say that Pep in his entire career is better than Fergie, I'll have that. I don't mind that. He has not surpassed what he's done in England. Until he can't be a better Premier League manager until he surpasses him. Surely not. Surely not. Okay, by that logic, it's fine, but then we have to crown Cristiano Ronaldo as the GOAT of the Premier League, and nobody has that same energy. So what are we doing? Fergie surpassed by Pep, but Cristiano Ronaldo the GOAT of the Premier League. We doing that or not? Let's keep the same energy, people. You know the way it's going to work. Terry, you disrespected Inter with that prediction. No, I didn't. See, this is Abdul. I'm going to call you out here because you do annoy me sometimes because you've watched me for years. You know what I was doing. I was trying to judge it. I was trying to fluke it. You know me well enough to know that. Come on now, bro. Like, you either got kicked in the head by a horse recently or you're being stupid. You know I was trying to judge it. Come on now. Stop being silly, man. Come on. You know this stuff. I know your lifetime's ambition is to catch me out, but everyone knew I was judging it. Jesus Christ. Come on now. Sir Alex won the league by 1 point in 99 against the greatest Arsenal team of all time. Yes, he did. I don't know what you're arguing. Smallest, like, yeah, he did. Thank you. Arsenal fans, I mean, again, if you're not a City fan as well, I don't want to hear from you on the Fergie debate because City fans are the only ones that can chat about it. The rest of you're behind Fergie and you're bantering us. I said it the other day. It's like me being a billionaire and you being a brokey. My biggest rival also becoming a billionaire and you laughing at me while you're still a brokey. It don't work. It don't work. Well done to City, but where are we going with this nonsense? Mine is better than yours. Can't you City fans just enjoy your club's success? This here says Lukaku is not cut out to be a footballer. He should retire and just become the union leader for jester and clowns. Worst footballer I've seen in my life. Yeah, those misses from him tonight were nothing short of embarrassing. Money can buy happiness. Man City equals sports washing. Nothing more, nothing less is what Abel says here. I did find it strange today that Sheikh Mansour was being praised in the media by the same people criticizing Man United for wanting Qatari owners. I did think it was that song popped into my head, that line. Isn't it ironic? It really stood out in my head. I'm like, weird that. Weird. This here says, what Fergie has done with Man United over 20 years can never be achieved by any other manager. I mean, look, I didn't want to get into this debate tonight because viewers, some of you don't know how to marinate. We're going to cook this and do this content over the week. Otherwise, we do it all tonight and then it's dead. But Pep himself the other night literally said Fergie's the greatest of all time. So Pep's ended the debate for us. As a manager, overall career, I think Pep is better. However, in the Premier League alone, Fergie can't be eclipsed unless Pep stays. Well, until he wins more, he surpasses his achievements. It's as simple as that. You can't. It's like if Arteta wins the league after 19 years, he doesn't surpass Wenger if he does it with more points than Wenger got. He's got to win more trophies than Wenger to surpass him. I only gave an Arsenal example because TGB's Guna. Finally, United are cemented as noisy neighbours. Not until you have more trophies than us, no. Ferguson also won the champion. He didn't win the Champions League. He won the Cup Winners' Cup. with Aberdeen. Would love to see Pep doing something close to that, but he only does well with rich clubs. Well deserved. And where does this leave Arsenal? I mean, this is one of the strangest things I find about this. I kind of get why Man United are getting banter, but we're being bantered by teams that haven't ever won the fucking Champions League. It don't make sense to me. Like, your treble's gone. You've been to one Champions League final and never won it, or you've never even been to one. Who are you laughing at? It don't, again, like I say, it's like me sitting there in my mansion with billions in the pounds in the bank and some brokey laughing at me because somebody else has just become as rich. It don't make sense. The Invincible seals and feels extra special tonight. Yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Alisson would have scored that header. Awful Lukaku. Bruv, my 3-year-old son had his first football lesson today. He would have scored that header. He would. Edison would get the praise for that save. But that was a miss. That was a miss. Because that guy's a bum. That guy is an absolute bum. Absolute bum. 3-peat treble winners. Get that. Yeah, mate. Sensational. And again, I'm the only one, but as Man United fans, we get how special this is because we did a 3-peat, and within that 3-peat won the treble. I know exactly how amazing this feels. Only Man United fans can empathize tonight. It's the greatest achievement. Trust me. I'm City fans tell me now, this means more than 100 points, don't it? It means more than 100 points. And the day that Arsenal win the Champions League, I'm going to go, means more than being invincible, didn't it? And they'll go, yes, sir. It's one of those things. It's a bit like a virgin telling you they don't think sex feels good. They can't have that opinion. A virgin can't tell you how good or bad the experience of sex is. They've never had it. They've never had it. And this is what I would say to people tonight. City fans, enjoy it. Absorb it. Love it. Because it doesn't matter what happens next year, 10 years, 20 years. It doesn't matter if Liverpool do it in a decade. Arsenal do it in 30 years. Your treble, City, will live on forever. This is yours. It cannot be taken away by anybody else. It's amazing. It's nothing short of sensational. I'm telling you that now. It's everlasting. It really, really is. Super chat here says, Terry, I swear Arsenal should have been trolled on Twitter tonight. And Rio better not double down and blame us for the main reason why City got the treble. Listen, I got a lot of time and respect for Rio. I wouldn't really give a damn what he says about it tonight. United had a chance to stop him. Inter had a chance to stop him. Arsenal had a chance to stop him. You could argue Arsenal had to foul 4 games on the bounce, where the other two had a one-off opportunity against one of the best teams ever. But look, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it tonight, personally, my friend. Switching roles, would Pep have won the Conference League with Roma? Jose still the best for me. Look, it's just a question we'll never know the answer to. We'll just never know the answer to it, you know? The only achievement will better this would have been done the quad. Yeah, the only thing to better it is the quad or doing a treble 2 years running. That's it. That's the only thing that can surpass it. You know, I don't care. If someone does a treble next year with more points than City, you'll hear the same energy from me. I'll say, it's a treble still. Points total, schmoints total. I'm telling you now, I want the City. They're not going to care. You don't care when you've done it. You just don't. You just don't. But unless you've done it, you don't understand that. You don't understand it. Inter fans are quiet right now. In fairness, I barely see any that come on the show, so it's always quiet in terms of them on the football terrace. KJ, has Mo been sent the link? We're going to send the link out to Mo now. I'm not sure it's been put into the group chat that he's in. I haven't gone and checked, but Mo will be coming out. Don't you guys worry. City's first Champions League, and people focus on United. I love it. It's envy and jealousy. It's not about individuals, but the team. Haaland played 3 finals, won 3. Yeah, sensational from Haaland, there's no doubt. And I get City fans bantering Man United and having a bit of fun. But the only reason Liverpool and Arsenal and Spurs, I've seen a few Spurs fans doing it, and Chelsea fans are mentioning United, it's a projection. It's a projection of frustration that they've never even won a Champions League or they've never done a treble. So instead of owning that disappointment of, damn, another team's done it before us, they project on, you've been matched or surpassed. It's a projection technique. How do I know? Because I've done it in the past. Again, like I say, I'm watching a team do a treble. Congratulations to them. I've still got mine. Have you got yours? Simple as that. Like, Zain's backstage. If I have a Bugatti and he buys one, it doesn't stop mine from existing. But if Brandon, who's driving a Ford Fiesta, laughs at me, that doesn't make sense. it's dumb banter. Come on now, you guys are. That's why no one really on the terrace is doing it, because my people have got brains. People can't wait to bring Arsenal into the conversation. How comes we're chatting about Arsenal when City have won the treble? Terry, you too. Why? Well, because my super chatters are mentioning Arsenal, and I want to be respectful here, Kenny. I'm not going to ignore your super chat. If somebody mentions Arsenal, I'll address the super chat. But they're also mentioning Man United. They're also mentioning Fergie. I'm saying if nobody mentions Arsenal in the chat, I won't. But I can't disrespect the super chatter because, Kenny, you don't want Arsenal mentioned. Do you get where I'm coming from, brother? I've got to respect my super chatters. They're one of the most important parts of the terrace, and I have to do it, my friend. So there we go. Yours is old. So it don't exist. Okay, cool. So by that logic, I'm just going to say Liverpool only have 2 Champions Leagues because 4 of them are old, isn't it? It don't make sense. Dead banter. I hate United, but banter in United won't make sense. Of course, it does make sense. It's what you call low-hanging fruit, simple banter, like basic stuff. Like ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. But there we go. Right. This I'm going to start bringing some panel. Where all the City fans are at celebrating, aren't they? That's what they're doing. City fans are all getting drunk and whatnot. I expect them to be, by the way. I expect them to be. By the way, seeing the pictures of it does hurt a little bit more than watching it on TV. I don't know why. I feel like pictures are more everlasting than a video, if that makes sense. Please make sure you're smashing like buttons. Please make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. It's very, very important to us you do that. And City fans, I've said it already and I'll say it again. You want to make sure you're getting yourselves over to Tops Now at the end of the show, because getting yourself signed up, because I'm sure there's going to be some historic and potentially very, very valuable cards available for the future, available in the next few days to buy. Not digital cards, not NFTs, but real tangible playing cards. Get across to there now, my friends, and get yourself signed up, ready for them to come out. I've got to update the thumbnail as well. We have to wait for the pictures to come through and get images of City lifting the trophy. Oh, I never thought I would have to do this, and I am. There it is. Please, Qatar, buy us. We need to come back. R.I.P. United. Who do you support, Maximum? Maximum, who do you support? I need to know who you support, because I bet your club's got less trophies than mine. I love it. I love it. Right. Football dynamics have changed big time. But they always do. They always do. You're an Inter fan. In the 90s, no one could touch you guys financially. You had the very best teams. That's why when we beat Juve in 99, it was looked at as, wow. Italian teams weren't beaten by the British teams very often in the 90s. It always does. It cycles. And would I be surprised in 20 years' time if it cycles out again and another nation has the best teams, most money and players? Like, all it takes is a big sponsor, or, Saudis are trying to build their own league as an example. But all it takes is a billionaire to pump some money into another league, the TV companies and the viewing figures to grow. It can change, my friend. It can change. Haaland, no GA in the FA Cup or Champions League final, no Ballon d'Or. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not after that. I don't know who will get it. Maybe not after that, but he's still definitely someone who's in the favourites for it, or in the running, definitely. Isn't it good Arsenal lost to a team with the caliber to win the treble? I think it shows what we are up against. Yeah, of course. Of course it does. Like, this is the best City team of all time. I don't care about no Centurions. This is the maddest bit. That's a record within one trophy. Within one trophy. This record is winning 3. And the biggest 3 trophies. By the way, they've won the biggest 3 trophies in the world for clubs. Premier League, biggest and best league. Champions League, the biggest European competition. And the FA Cup, the most famous and historic and biggest domestic trophy. These are all facts, by the way. It's the pinnacle. And if you ain't done it, you ain't the pinnacle either. This proves a treble equals easier than invincibles. I disagree. I get that only 2 teams have gone invincible in England. 2 teams have done the treble. So it's equal on that. But I know for a fact Gooners will swap it for a treble every single day of the week, because, again, want 3 major trophies or 1? I want 3. If someone said to me, you can do 4 more trebles or you can do 10 invincible seasons, I'm picking 4 trebles. Every day of the week, my G. Every day. every day, every day. And I'd never change my mind on that. I don't know why fans were expecting from Lukaku. He performed the same during the World Cup. As a City fan, this Champions League is special, but winning the Premier League is better. If only United jinx City. Yeah, those guys. The guys saying City were going to lose, they were the problem. You've got to do it the other way. You've got to jinx it the other way. I've already done that one. Chances Pep just retires now. Zero chance, but I'd love it to happen. I would absolutely love it to happen personally. Right, bringing some of the panel out now to have this. I'm going to share the link for you guys to phone in also on the last match reaction of the season as well, which I just didn't even think about until just now. But we're going to have a busy season of transfers ahead. Hit the like and the share button as well, people, by the way. It's very important that you do that. And do you know what I haven't done, though? I know what I haven't done. I haven't set up a match reaction template without the picture of Rodri in it, right? Which means I'm doing it now, which means you won't see anybody's pretty faces. You'll see none of their pretty faces when I bring them on. I'm going to get that sorted just now for you all. Here we go. And then I'll bring out my panels over there, say. And then we'll finish the show. And then I'm going to go lay down and have a little cry, I think. A little cry. Only joking. Let's go. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. KJ, you look thoroughly depressed.
It's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. No. Fair play to Man City, innit? The gone and done. The greatest club achievement that you can achieve. I don't think anyone's going to do the quad. If they do, then they are the greatest team. But yeah, Pep just made a machine. He made a monster of a club. The system that he plays is so good. They can defend, they can attack, they can switch from possession based to counter attacking within the game. The players are quality players. Rodri, what a finish that was! Amazing finish from Rodri. That's hard to stop for any goalkeeper. Yeah, I'm lost for words, man. I'm born in 96, so I'm 27 years old. I was 3 when the treble happened for Man United. So I've only been able to watch the treble from videotapes, from DVDs, from YouTube footage, from Premier League years. That's the only way I could have witnessed Man United's treble. And I loved it. It was great. I now know how it feels when you're on the other side of a treble. I now, as an adult, has seen my team's best achievement be matched by not only a really good team, but the rivals, your bitter rivals from across the road, bruv. Like, it isn't nice. It isn't nice. That's all I can say. It's not nice.
Mate, it's not nice at all. It isn't. And I think the difference between you and I is I remember our treble. I lived it. It was the greatest season in the end as a United fan. Trials, tribulations, ups and downs. And listen, I'm not comparing them. I'm only talking about my experiences. And I don't know if City's run has been as hard, but drawing Liverpool in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, losing until the 90th minute as an example and turning it round, and a very good Liverpool side as well, I will add. Going up against Chelsea that season and battering them 4-0. Arsenal in the semi-finals, going to a replay, the Giggs goal. When you look back now, and this season will have it for City as well, is so many goals and games and moments will, in 20 years' time, still be played. And Gundogan's goal in the final was an example. Rodri's strike tonight. So you're experiencing a bit of rival doing it. It's painful because you won't have memories of the first one. For me, it feels different because I remember Man United's treble. And as great as this is for City, I don't want them to do it. It doesn't eclipse how I feel about mine because I think I lived it. But it was fitting that they won it tonight. In terms of the game, we'll go on to the achievement a little bit later in the show because I know a lot of people want to speak about that. In terms of the game tonight, Brandon, a lot of people expected it to be City dominant, City to have the majority of the ball, the shots, the chances, the goals. But in fact, Inter had more attempts on goal. They had more clean-cut chances. They actually nearly scored on more occasions than City, but City got themselves over the line tonight.
Yeah. Firstly, Tel, how do you know I drive a Ford Fiesta, bro? Come on.
You look like a Ford Fiesta finesse guy.
I do actually drive a Ford Fiesta, so you don't wrong with that one.
By the way, I don't drive a Bugatti. I just made use the example. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. In terms of the game, Tel, without stating the obvious, of course, congratulations, Manchester City. You know they thoroughly deserve it. I'll go through a few stats in the moment as well to tell you why they deserve the treble, even though it's blatantly obvious anyway. They're the best team, arguably in the world, definitely in the country right now. But yeah, a lot of praise has to go to Inter Milan, I think, because nearabouts everybody was expecting them to get slapped 3, 4, 5-0 tonight. And, first half especially, I thought they stifled Manchester City very well. I thought they kept it very tight. They was very aggressive in their challenges and their tackling. And you could also see the nervousness from the Man City players as well that kind of settled in. They didn't look like the Manchester City that we know, giving away sloppy possession, not just in the first half, but through the majority of the game as well. And kind of both teams were very similar in that aspect. Like their ball retention was quite poor from both sides. But it's even with Kevin De Bruyne going off, I thought there might have been a slight opportunity there that, Inter could possibly nick that game if they could keep it tight towards the end. But City, you could just tell the difference in quality. They've got players that can step up in the right moments at the right time. We've seen it over the past couple of weeks. It's been Gundogan. Tonight it was Rodri. Ederson as well, coming up with some massive saves towards the end there. And then you've got the opposite end of the scale with Inter Milan. Lautaro Martinez, I don't really get the hype around this guy, to be honest. I don't think he's that great. I think if he was a striker in the Premier League, I'm not sure he would succeed at a big club.
Well, just rather than, I want to interject for a second, just because we don't want to sit there and just do like full 15-minute, like 10-minute, like review. Let's talk Lautaro for a minute. Great point you bring up. A lot of people rave about this guy. I agree with you. Slow, no physicality, no real energy. Chelsea are linked with him. I say stay as far. This guy's going to get bullied this guy would get bullied in the Premier League. Bullied. Like you're linked with him, Andrew. You're linked with him. What did you make of Lautaro's performance tonight?
I've not been. I don't see the hype. I agree with Brandon. I don't see the hype, even if someone's going to come in and say, "Yeah, but it's the way Inter play and they play two up front." I just don't. I don't see it really. I don't see, like, for me, and I don't care what anyone says. He's not better than Ivan Toney. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have Ivan Toney over this guy every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Do you know what I mean? This is what happens. He's not that for me. I don't see. You're right. I don't see if he was leading the line in the Premier League, he'd get bullied. He would get bullied. He's not physical enough. He's not. You wouldn't be able to handle it. And I just don't think he's that as well. I mean, he's been linked to Real Madrid. I don't see Real Madrid going after this guy. Really, paying all that money for him. I don't see what's the point. Pay us money for Kai Havertz first, then you can get Martinez. It's all good.
Yeah, and then there's obviously the other striker, Lukaku.
Yo, Brandon, switch with me. This brother. Okay, listen. Oh my gosh.
That was not a world-class slave, by the way. That was not a world-class slave. That was a crap finish.
How does a player come on and make his team's chances of winning go down because you're on the pitch? Someone explain to me, how do you block a shot from your own teammate that's going into the goal to equalize? How do you miss? I'm going to call it out. How do you miss an open goal?
That's a miss.
Because the right-hand side of that goal was open. You headed it at the goalkeeper. How is that possible? This brother is out here too busy bagging Megan Thee Stallion and not bagging goals, bruv.
Do you know what it comes down to with this guy, with Lukaku? The reason that he blocked again, he'll get defended, but the reason he blocked the header from DeMarco is because he has no awareness,
Right.
lack of awareness, and then he reacts late and cannot get out of the way. Equally, the guy is a bottle job. This reminded me of the Croatia game, where he had gilt edge after gilt edge after gilt edge, and missed chances that were easy to score. Flawless asked me a question last night. What's the difference between a chance creation and a big chance creation? Lukaku tonight is what you call a big chance created, where it's easier to score than miss, and he missed it. Now, the guy that crossed the ball, he deserves all the credit in the world for that brilliant. Sorry, the header back across. Let me try that again. The cross that came over, I think it was from Barella. The header back across goal, that was class football. They ripped City apart with those two moves. That should have been buried. We shouldn't be sitting in now on the stream. It should be extra time. Right. That's where we should be right now. Lukaku is an absolute bottler.
In the Europa League final as well for them. Remember,
he's an absolute bottler, and he's probably just cost Chelsea a lot of money. He's probably just cost Chelsea a little bit more money because he should be burying that with every ounce in him. And his new nickname now, he's with Meg the Stallion. I'm calling this guy Lukaku the pony. That's it. He's Lukaku the pony. He's man that no stallion.
He's a donkey, man. He's a donkey.
He's proved it over many years, right?
Sorry, go on, Zain.
I was going to say, he's proved it over many years. At Man United, you knew what he was all about. In those clutch games, he was never clutch. Do you know what I mean? So when I was watching the game and he had those chances, I'm not going to lie, I was supporting City for this final. I wanted them to win. But I wasn't scared. If it was someone else had the chance, I'll be like, oh, fuck, they're going to score. But because it was in Lukaku, I was like, nah, he's just proved it over so many years. And it's just one of those where, how can you... I don't understand how he gets away with playing football at this level. Do you know what I mean? Because has he ever proved it at any real club apart from Everton?
No, he hasn't.
Question for Zain, by the way.
That one interseason when they won the league, he was top notch.
Yeah,
he was. But his problem is not consistent. He can't hold it for years and years and years because the guy's 30 years old with one league title. He calls himself one of the best strikers in the world. He self-proclaimed best strikers in the world. How are you not scoring that goal when your team needed it the most in a final? These are the moments that you as a striker are longing for. A moment to score in a Champions League final.
Yeah.
And you're flat-footed. You're too stiff to move your body, so your header can be redirected into the opposite side of the goal. There's time that I've defended Lukaku many times back in the past. His performances on the bigger stage.
KJ, do you know what is KJ? I think he just wanted to hit the target. He didn't have the kahunas to put it because in case it went wide. So he thought, you know what? Let me hit it at the target and just hope the keeper messes up. I think that's what happened in that situation.
The irony was
Martinez had that opportunity. Edison saved. But by the way, Akanji's had a brilliant season. His mistakes really should have cost City 2 goals tonight. Really should have cost City 2 goals. And the commentator said, should Martinez have squared the ball to Lukaku? My answer to that question is no.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, one, I always think strikers in goal scoring opportunities should take responsibility and shoot. They should always try and take responsibility. Secondly, why would you pass the ball to Lukaku? The guy in big game moments, in my opinion, just isn't good enough. We've got a few super chats here. I'm going to come to you in a second, Brandon. This here says Lukaku also has the cleanest shot with his head with nothing. Also has the cleanest shot with his head with nothing on to distract his shot and still headers that misses that header. 100 million striker. What the F? I hear you, Ricky. Debbie here says Man City win the treble. I know it. I'm sorry, Terry. This is the reason why Messi couldn't trust him in the World Cup. Why did you say Messi didn't pick the team, but I just want to point that out to you. Shout out to Alvarez for winning the quadruple. Yeah, he has won it, but he didn't kick a ball today. I don't know. It counts. He did win it. He did a Jonathan Green in tonight. Do you know what I mean? Name the other English invincible team then.
Who cares? Move on.
So what, man?
No, I'm sorry. Okay, this needs to. Actually, no. I'll save it because I need to talk about what Zain just said just a second ago, but we'll say
Yeah, go on. Speak about what Zain said. Go on.
Zain said he was supporting Manchester City.
I told you weeks ago I was. My team's dead.
Yeah, Zain, listen. People like Arsenal fans are out here now bantering Manchester United, bantering that this Man City team have done X, Y, and Z. They have eclipsed your team. You, Zain, are sitting there openly supporting a team that is eclipsed your team in the Premier League era. You're there.
Okay, hold on there. Hold on there. On that statement.
No, bro. Let me finish.
That's what bridesmaids do.
Your Premier League, your Champions Leagues. They've eclipsed your Premier Leagues. They have eclipsed your domestic cups, and you're sitting there saying you supported them to win the Champions League. What is wrong with you? All the fans that are there bantering. Your club is also in the mud because it's worse.
No, it's not. I'll tell you why. Let me explain,
bro.
But
wait, he just Champions Leagues in England. Liverpool 6. When you win 5, you don't get a replica, you get the original. Do you get me? You want to see the proper one, you come to Anfield. So
Zain,
first of all, that record,
Zain,
6 Champions League.
Zain. So let's just stop this now. Let me just control the situation for a minute. Let me try and move this around. It's not moving now. I get your point. You've got 6, they've got 1, you can't be eclipsed. Then why is everybody saying Man United have been eclipsed and we have 3 and they have 1? This is what I mean by why the band just I don't want to get into a fight over it because I don't want to waste any energy.
Exactly.
What City has done is brilliant. But and I'm talking Liverpool fans that I'm seeing say it's eclipsed. This is why the banter's so dead, because if they've eclipsed us, we're doing a treble because it's better than ours. Then they've eclipsed you because you've never even done a treble. But then your reasoning is, well, no, but we've still got more trophies than them. But so have we, then why are we being bantered? It don't make sense. It doesn't make sense for anyone who's not done a treble to banter Man United because another team's done a treble. It's like if Arsenal, if Liverpool go invincible next year, I can't banter Arsenal because I ain't gone invincible. It don't make sense. It's terrible, terrible banter in my personal opinion. I want to get back to some of these super chats here. But by the way, the invincible team was Preston. We mentioned them earlier on the show, my friend. Haaland and KDB have entered the Ballon d'Or race. Yeah, maybe they have. I mean, they didn't perform in the final. Haaland did it. I don't think KDB.
He'll be in the top 3.
Right. Yes, Preston were the first invincibles. That's right. Prep, the greatest manager ever, changed football for. Hang on, we'll come back to that in a comment because I think it's a little bit over the top. But Preston North End was the other invincible team. Absolutely, yes, we know. Now, I know it was less games, but again, everybody can play on those things. Bigger squads now. I mean, we can all, you know what I mean? And Liverpool also, our achievements in the 70s were better because goalies didn't wear gloves. You can literally do this to every...
Terry, do you know what? Can I just add my point?
Please let me finish my sentences. That's why you compare trophies. That's it. That's why it's always been. Was doing a treble harder? We'll come back to that question for the panel. Terry, when see or talk to the fish market Henry... Oh, the fish market Mark Henry, sorry. KG, tell him to hold that for supporting City to win the league. Yeah, again, I felt weird all year that Man United fans were supporting City for the sake of banter. Very strange. In the same way, Zain tonight. To all of you United fans that wanted City to win the league, hold that. I agree with you, LJ. I put this slightly on them. You really angered the football gods with your bullshit and lack of being a Man United fan. Essentially, you fouled as a United fan. Shame on fans trying to discredit United treble. Enjoy your moment. Focus on your own club. Congrats to City from a United fan. Absolutely. Terry will always pick the trophies. That's why he is the GOAT. Of course. Everyone will pick the trophies. You don't have parades for records. No one ever has done. Simple and straightforward as that. Wait a second. Who scored? Rodri. Well, you know that. I hope you know that if you watch that game. Staffy's here with us right now. What are you saying, Staffy?
I'm just very confused why Zain is saying what he said, because in the beginning he said, I supported City. I didn't even say anything. You're already interrupting me. I didn't say anything yet. In the beginning, he said, I supported City because my team is in the mud. And then KJ told him, well, that makes your team in the mud. He said, well, we're not in the mud. We have 6 Champions Leagues. What logic is that, Zain? I don't get it. And here's the thing I don't get. I thought this show was going to be about congratulating City and how good the game was and all that. But then I'm just hearing too much Man United slander, and I don't understand it. I mean, like, Terry, you broke it up perfectly a couple weeks ago. You said, like, if I'm a millionaire and then my neighbor becomes a millionaire and you come laugh at me and say, haha, you're not the only millionaire anymore. Bro, you're still broke. Why are you laughing at me for? Like, yeah, they tied our record. We hate it. I hate it. I'm not happy. KJ's not happy. Terry's not happy. But what is the whole thing to banter Man United about it? I just really don't get it. It's like, it seems like whenever something happens, let's go for Man United. Hussam is going out there saying, oh, why aren't Man United fans celebrating the Champions League today? They were supporting Man City fans the last 5 years. Bro, you're a hypocrite, because if you would have won one of those years that we support, well, we know we won one, but an extra one, you would have been bantering us for tying our Premier League record for 20. So it's like we can't win with these guys. It's a lose-lose situation. I swear, bro, it's such a joke, bro, because, like, what did you want me to do, Hassan? Did you want me to support Liverpool? Breaking news, a Man United fan wants a Liverpool team to lose the league. Wow, how do you do that? You know, it's like it's
Staffy, you're right. It's all about records. At the end of the day, I don't want City winning the league, but if one of City or Liverpool's going to win it, City is so far behind our record. I'd rather it's the lesser of two evils, and it'd be City. Last year, why did I want City to take that league title? Because Liverpool were hunting down a quad, which would have surpassed everything we've achieved. It's just dead banter, and what it comes from is projection. They're angry because for years, what has been caught in the throat of a lot of Liverpool fans is Man United's treble. And now they're even more angry that another team from their city's biggest rival, because Liverpool and Manchester hate each other as cities, has also done a treble. But instead of holding it and saying, I'm pissed off and angry, they're projecting and saying, ha ha, Man United. And the banter's crazy. And listen, if there's a debate over whose treble was best and whatever else, there's a great debate to be had there. But it can only be had by a certain group of people. One, you have to have been old enough to have watched Man United's 1999 team, all games. If you're under 30, you don't get an opinion. Maybe even under 35, you don't get an opinion. Because I'll ask you a question, Don. You're a young Chelsea fan. Have you gone back and watched every game from that season of Man United and Arsenal?
No.
So you have no, and I mean, I'm not disrespecting you. So you have no idea about how good or bad teams were back then. So we can have that debate. But the banter on Man United on this is crazy. When actually, and I mean this with respect to City fans, this should be about talking, and this is all I wanted to talk about. But I get led by the viewers and your super chats about the game tonight, the players tonight, and then we can talk about the legacy they have created for themselves, where they rank, how good they are, who the standout players are. This should be about a celebration of Man City, but instead it becomes about ha United are now dead. We're not. You can't take our treble away because somebody else has done it. It means so by that logic, Jane. Let me ask you this question: if Man United win 6 Champions Leagues, does that mean you have none?
Pardon? Say that again.
If Man United get to 6 Champions Leagues, does it mean you have none?
But again, no, of course not. But again,
so I don't want to.
Let me explain why I'm supporting City.
Mate, I don't want to go into it because it's not what we're here for. I just wanted a simple answer.
But I'm here to celebrate City. That's why I've been watching them.
then we no.
I don't understand why you lot are talking about other people, not me.
So
you haven't even asked me why I'm supporting City.
I'm muting you because I don't want to go into this side of things. We are going to talk about Man City. No. We're just talking about dead banter and putting it to bed because it's very, very boring. Brandon, over to you, and then I want to get back to Man City. Please.
Can I just dud all this bullshit, by the way? Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, Tottenham fans have no right to be talking about Manchester United and trebles or anything like that. Arsenal, for one, have never even won the Champions League. So I don't know where all these Arsenal fans are coming out of the woodwork talking about this, that, and the other. And this is possibly the worst thing that could have happened because now that City have matched the treble to Manchester United, all them little virgins online can now go, oh, well, we're the only team to have gone invincible. Dud all of that. It's a load of rubbish. The fact and reality is Manchester United and City are the only 2 teams to have done a treble in England. England. Therefore, City have just surpassed Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. You know, we don't have the right to be in this conversation. So all you little virgins online, shut your mouths, right? And concentrate on maybe holding your club accountable so that they can go on and win a treble and match what Manchester City and Man United have done. How about that?
There we go. Zain, I'm going to come back to you now in terms of the Man City chat and why you were kind of backing them. Not the dead banter against United, but why you were backing them. Go for it.
Yeah, so basically, obviously, Liverpool have been going toe-to-toe for many years with City. One occasion, we won the league, right? So it's like when you get two boxers in the ring, two quality boxers, right? There's that level of respect and admiration for the better person over like a trilogy. Do you know what I mean? And so me not being a hater, I've got to give Man City their dues and respect because I think they've been disrespected for quite a few years in terms of, it's not going to happen. So me being close to seeing how good they are in all those title races, my team obviously is not going to do nothing this season. And I called that from the start. I said, look, this season is done for Liverpool. We're not going to do nothing until we fix up midfield. So logically, I'm going to look at a good team to watch. And to be fair, regardless, we've been battling it for the past 4 or 5 years. Respect is due to them.
You haven't.
They need the flowers. They're at the elite table now. They've won the Champions League. They're at the top table with Man United and Chelsea. In England, they're at the elite top table now because they've won. They've won that. So I'm here to give them flowers.
You know what I would say to you, Zain? Give them flowers. I would never support another English team in a European Cup final unless.
But that's you, bro. If you got issues like that.
When I'm talking, please, Zain. When I'm talking, please.
Wow.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't ever support another English team in a final unless they were up against a bigger rival of mine. So when Liverpool played Spurs, I wanted Spurs to win because I didn't want Liverpool getting another one as an example. But I'd never support English teams in finals. But I think what you're saying about giving them their praise and giving them their flowers, 110%, I get and I understand that. I really do. We've got some, I'm going to come back to you guys in a minute. I've got some super chats here. Scott Carson was third choice goalkeeper for Liverpool in 2005 and he's third choice goalkeeper for Man City in 2023. Yeah, listen, those third choice goalkeepers, honestly, they have literally the best job in football. Get paid loads of money, they got no pressure, and they win trophies. Fair play to them. Won a Champions League for City, won since 1988 is what Alex says. We'll come back to some of these other ones. You drew for a 1888-89 team, 19th century, you know. Okay, so we can't include history from that far back. Cool. Fair enough if that's what we're going with. City will win the Champions League even more, sadly. They'll win it even more, sadly. Right, I get you. Hear what you're saying. Arsenal fan here. Big up Brandon for calling out Arsenal fans. Let's not forget Arsenal aided the treble with the bottling, is what Tito says there.
That's why they're celebrating. Because they feel like they've won as well.
I also think there's this thing going on with certain fans of certain clubs. I'm not going to name the clubs and trigger their fans. If you elevate and big up a team as being amazing and great, it gives you an excuse for not winning. The only reason we only got one league title in 7 years is because we're up against the greatest ever. I've been calling this out since 2018. It's a very, very
that's the angle that I'm getting, Zain. I've never been on stream with you before, bro. But I feel like this treble talk is just an excuse to sort of say, oh, look at this team that we lost the leagues to. We could have had X amount of Premier Leagues. The only reason why we didn't, because they're a treble winning club, this, that. I feel like it's a little bit of an excuse because I'm struggling to understand the logic behind supporting an English club in the Champions League final when they're not up against a bigger rival. I'm really struggling to understand the logic behind it.
Batman
so hold on. What I don't understand, right, is like, you man, like I said, you man can think to where you want, right? Don't try and tell me what I think. I'm giving respect to them because ultimately,
you can give respect.
Been the best team. You can argue about is it the best team ever in the Premier League. I'm not going to get into that.
Very sorry. No, Zain, nobody has said you shouldn't praise them. What his question was, and you won't answer it. People keep saying, let Zain talk, but you don't answer questions directly. You do an egal and you go on a tangent. His question was, why are you supporting it? Can you explain why you support and wanted another English team to win? Not praising them for winning, but wanted them to win.
Because it helps our coefficient and it's good for the league. It's good for the league.
We got him.
What? So you rather the Italian team win the Champions League than the English team? Are you mad? Because what it means is help some dead clubs like Chelsea or Arsenal maybe get that 5th place for the Champions League next season.
Zain, if Man United were in that final today, would you have said the same thing? Let's say Man United are playing scintillating football, amazing football, and today they're in the Champions League final, and they're playing the best football in Europe that you're watching. Would you come in and say, I want Man United to win because, number one, they're playing good football, so they deserve the praise and the coefficient? Bro, that is the biggest cap I have heard on the terrace.
Let's call this out.
Zain, it's done now. You've answered. We can swiftly move on. Ben's joined us now on the show. How you doing, mate? Hope that you are well. I see him shaking his head because he's heard that, and he's like, "Why is a Liverpool fan back in City?"
He messaged me saying, "I need to chat to him, bro."
I have to.
It's genuinely. I'll let you have your say now because I want to move on to talking about City and their greatness and some of the other super chats. Go on, talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I was just chilling, man. Just trying to get over this absolute shambles that's happened tonight, and I tuned in. And the first, Zain, you can deny stuff all you want, but the first sentence you came in was, "Tonight I was supporting Man City," and I'll just be blunt, bro. I have to say how it is. If any Liverpool supporter, no matter how you support the club, sits there and wants another side, especially Man City, to win the Champions League, I have to sit there and question how much you support Liverpool, because that is just absolutely bonkers to me. I would question that.
So they're not Everton, they're City. They've only got 1. I've got 6. So they're no threat to me. So in the day, that's the reason.
Let me just say one thing, Zain. Let me just say one thing, Zain. They have literally taken Premier Leagues away from your club.
That's exactly what I was saying.
They've taken them away from you, and you're
because they're the better team. My days. What's wrong with saying a team's better than your team?
You can say it, but you don't support them, bro.
Zain. So if they're stopping you from winning Prems, you agree with that, which has stopped you not only from matching Man United, but surpassing United as the most successful league team in the history of English football, that constitutes a threat to you. Man City may not be a threat right now for your total trophy haul, but they are catching us all. But they have stopped you from becoming the most successful league team in England. Now, you should surely want, as a Liverpool fan, to have the most league titles, the most Champions Leagues, the most FA Cups, the most League Cups. Therefore, you're already looked at as the kings, but they're stopping you from adding to that. That is the definition of a threat to your football club. What you are doing is what I've seen on social media and the mainstream media now for months. City are being used as a Ponzi almost, as a way of attacking other clubs or making people feel better about things. It reminds me of when Arsenal fans used to celebrate, "Oh, we come second, but we won best net spend in the top 6." It's like a weird flex. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Terry, I'm a lot older than you, right? And the reason why I've got more experience than you is because I've seen cycles in football, right? There was a time where Liverpool in the 80s were dominating and winning everything. Then when we come to the 2000s, Man United started doing that. Now it's City's turn. So you small-minded people are thinking they're going to go on for the next 30 years winning everything. Zain? That's not going to happen. So let them have their time. Appreciate the good football, and don't be fucking, have some, give respect and due. Don't be so small-minded. It's embarrassing, honestly, that you're that threatened about City. Why?
I want to thank you, Zain, for supporting Man United during the 2008-09 season in the Champions League. I want to thank you for supporting us in the 99 time as well when we won the treble, because we need more fans like you who, for some reason, don't.
KJ, I wouldn't support Man U because you're close to our title, our number of competitions. City are not even close yet. So I've got no problem.
I've never met a fan who's confused respect for support. That is mad to me, but I thank you for it though. Thank you.
100%. I want to move on from this now though, guys. Just instead
of Terry, can I just say something just real quick? I'm around the same age as you, Terry. In 2009, when the referee cost us at least 2 penalties, right? You know what I did in the final? I cheered on Barcelona, bro. I'm not cheering on Man United in the final, even though Barca screwed us over.
You know what's crazy?
I'm not having that. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is, Zain? That is you, weak-minded. All Robins don't want to be Batman. Do you know what I mean? You're weak-minded. And can I just say this? And this is not, it's only directed to you, Zain. You going about you battling City for titles for 5 years. You battled them in 2, and they were 4 years apart. That was it. It's just 2. Stop overstating this 4 or 5 year battle between you and Man City, because it's 2 in 4 years. and you are a bridesmaid, and that's what's a problem with you as a
2 and 4 years. So what about obviously we won one as well? So
He's
that's
not a
3 at
Liverpool
least,
fan
right?
who
There's
wants
3
to
at
watch
least,
the
right?
Champions League. He's
3
not
at
a
least. Get your facts right. Come on, bro.
Guys, I'm moving this conversation. I'm going to move the conversation on now. We have some super chats I want to do first. First one says, the only time I support English teams in the Champions League was Chelsea against United. Other than that, I will never support any other team. You're back, John, but that's what a proper football fan does. You're bang on. Man, the tears are so beautiful. Keep them coming. Thank you, bro. Onana, don't go to Chelsea. Kepa and Mendy are good enough.
Onana, by the way. Onana from the back,
quality.
by the way. Oof. I was impressed.
Quality,
I was impressed.
Do you know what on the game tonight? What I noticed, Inter actually did to Man City what Man United did. They stopped them. They nullified them. They made it hard for them to play. There's a blueprint there for this City team. If you have better players, maybe you can capitalize. The difference, though, if Man United had a goalie that could feed those balls in to our midfield like Onana was doing, we have better players in the attack. We might be able to do something. Like what he was doing on the ball tonight, Onana was absolutely great. Zain makes me want to smash my face with something.
Thank you for the super chat. Go slap your face, bro. Go slap it. Go now, do it now.
All right, calm down, bro. Pep 3 trebles. No one else. Listen,
is it 2?
So is he done 2 or 3, Pep?
Barcelona did a treble, didn't he? I'm sure.
Yeah, he did one with Barca in
2
2009 and
2
this
trebles.
2.
Oh,
yeah.
Barca has a second treble, but they have it with Enrique. They didn't have it with Pep.
Okay,
sorry.
In terms of this super chat, where there's this super chat here, and then there's this one from Sesko. So we're going to get on some real serious debate now. This one here says, Pep's the greatest manager ever, changed football forever. History will forever remember the Pep's ways and philosophies. That's the difference between, he took my Fergie. I'm taking Fergie out of this conversation for a minute because it muddies the waters in people's minds. It certainly muddies mine because people will talk about Fergie in 200 years as well. Where do you guys rank Pep now? 2 trebles, 3 Champions Leagues. And I want to praise Pep, by the way, because Pep Guardiola was ridiculously criticized for years. Fraudiola, checkbook manager, can only win the Champions League with Messi. He's now got 3 Champions Leagues, dominated England for the last 7 years, does his second treble in his career. He's still only in his early 50s. He has records for days. I think he's got the second or third most amount of trophies ever for a manager. Where does he rank? I'm going to go to Don first in this question. Overall now for you in terms of managers.
I would say in the modern era, what I've seen a lot of, because obviously Sir Alex was there before my time. I'll say in the modern era, this is the greatest coach that I've seen. I'd say Sir Alex was a better manager, but in terms of actually the coaching ability and that Barcelona team that I saw, man, I know they had the greatest player that we've arguably seen. I think for me, Messi's the GOAT, but you still had to make that work. You know, that tiki-taka of football, how they used to just kill teams, 70% possession, 60% possession, just the intricate play. For me, in this era, I would say he's the greatest, but I'm not going to put down Sir Alex because the longevity on that side is a bit mad. I have to respect it. But in this modern era, what I've seen a lot of, I would say Pep is the greatest coach that I've seen ever.
Excluding Fergie, he's number 1. And it's not just about, because people always reference the tiki-taka football with Barcelona. And it was amazing. Like you say, Terry, for you it was boring because it's that good. Like no one can compete with it. But I honestly believe that this Pep system that is developed now is probably his best system. I think it is. And for someone to go from playing tiki-taka football and being known for that to go into Germany and dominating that league, and then going to England and dominate this league, and then create a system such as this where it can basically do everything in a football game. Because today they were defending. There's large parts of this game where they're defending. Where the Barcelona team able to do that? You could say keeping the ball so much is greater, but I think being able to keep ball, then defend, then counter, then to go to possession again, all within a game, I think is better. And I think he's developed one of the best systems we'll probably ever see in football. He has to be number 1. He has to be number 1.
This formation today, 3-2-4-1. Like, I'm seeing some crazy formations that is putting out there. I'm seeing John Stones playing like an agile. John Stones today, by the way, like, I know we're talking about Pep right now, but this is a different player, man. What a player. What a player.
He's brilliant. Brandon, your view on this question?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's second to Alex Ferguson and only Alex Ferguson. But I also believe that Pep Guardiola will go on to surpass Sir Alex Ferguson's achievements because, you know, like you said, he's in his early 50s. He's got plenty of time left in the game. He's a quality manager. And not only that, not just in terms of his team and the players and everything else, he's changed the way the Premier League football's played. Let's not forget, no team was playing out of the back until Pep Guardiola came into the league. And now all of a sudden, every single team wants to play out of the back, build from the back, keep the possession, and start attacks from your defence, from your goalkeeper. So he's kind of changed football in that way as well. So, yeah, huge respect to Pep Guardiola, you know, top manager.
I will say this. Let's move this across. Fergie is still the GOAT, in my opinion. But I mean, I'll never take anything away from Pep. As I've said at the top of this, the Fraudiola comments, the checkbook manager, can't win without Messi. I brush this nonsense aside. Of course, I have a slight bias. I'm a Man United fan. But my reasonings for picking Fergie, the longevity, yes. The amount of teams he rebuilt at one club. Pep himself has just said, I don't know how a man can do that, not taking breaks and going to new places. But actually what he achieved at Aberdeen prior, a tiny club, and took over, broke the Glasgow dominance in Scotland, beat Real Madrid in a European Cup final with a team that had no business being there. The way he built Man United from the ashes, we were a fallen giant when he came in. Those elements of Fergie matter a lot to me. People talk about things Pep's done in the game. Rotation of teams is a Fergie invention. Fergie was playing false nines in the Champions League in the early 90s before the phrase false nine, 20 years before the phrase false nine even existed. So he's done a lot of things tactically. People talk about playing out from the back. I'll send you some clips later, Brandon, of Man United's team in the 90s and how often we played through the back and our defenders came up with the ball. Not to the degree that Pep does it with, but football evolves. Fergie had great footballing teams from the start. But when it comes to Pep is second, in my opinion, to him. But I agree with Brandon. And I hate saying this. I think Pep will surpass him. Even with the Aberdeen comments, even with how he built Man United, that stuff is massive. But I've got a feeling Pep's going to end his career with potentially there'll be a gulf in total trophies. And I will not become a hypocrite and say, well, yeah, he's got 20 extra trophies, but because of what he did with Aberdeen, it outweighs it. This guy could manage for another 15 to 20 years. And in that time, he could pick up another 10 to 15 league titles, 2, 3, 4 Champions Leagues. And I think he will, unless he loses the hunger for it and leaves City in 3 years and retires completely. I just don't see how he doesn't end his career with more Champions Leagues, more major league titles, more domestic trophies than Sir Alex Ferguson. And my love for Fergie will never wane. Fergie will always be my favorite manager, but we have to be fair and consistent. If he has more major trophies, he's better. He's better. We can't argue that. This man is a genius. This man is amazing. What I won't do, by the way, like others do, is some will slag off Fergie to pump up Pep. That doesn't need to happen. You don't need to slag off Fergie to praise Pep, because they should both be respected in the same breath. But the man is just, what is he, 52, 53?
Yeah, he's actually generational.
He's younger, by the way. He's younger than Erik ten Hag, but Erik ten Hag looks as an up-and-coming manager. It's mad how good.
Do you know what, Terry, as well? When he starts doing his international career as well, because at some point he will do his international career as well, right? So when he adds like a European and a World Cup onto that, do you know what I mean? He's going to be goated. So it's something you can see. He's the future GOAT. Obviously, at the moment, Fergie's clear, but you can see that. But I do want to give a shout to Bob Paisley as well, because the things he did at Liverpool, obviously due to his ill health, obviously he couldn't continue it, but he won, in the short time he was there, he won 6 league titles. He did 4 of them in a row. He won 3 Champions Leagues in that time as well. He won a UEFA Cup. So do you know what I mean? So I appreciate in a modern era, it's obviously between Fergie and obviously Pep. But I have to give a shout to Paisley. In the short time of his career, because of ill health, at Liverpool, what he did was unprecedented at the time. In that short period, how much he actually won. and proper titles, not like Carabao Cups or.
He gets a lot of respect. I don't think he won 4 on the bounce. He did 2 on the bounce a year out, and then 2 on the bounce again. I think he did 4.
No, he won. I think 4 altogether. I think he went up to. I'm just checking the Wikipedia on that.
No, he won 6. He won it in 76, 77, and then he won in 79, 80, and then 82, 83.
79, 80, then 81, 82, 82, 83.
No, he didn't win the first division in 81.
Oh, okay. So Wikipedia's wrong then. But...
we're splitting hairs here. The man was great as well. And I think, that's when you get into those debates whether that short-term intensity of winning all those trophies in such a short space of time, is that better than 25 years of more success? That's an interesting debate. And I think it one that deserves to be had. But it's very hard when you're judging Paisley because no one on this panel watched him. Really, even you, Zain, you're old.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
You're too young to remember. So that's why I like to kind of ring fence eras. And that's why Fergie's hard, because that bastard managed for so long. Young people remember him. But I've heard people phone into TalkSport in this last month and go, but what did he do outside of Manchester? And the TalkSport pundits should lose their jobs because they say, yeah, you're right, nothing. And I'm like, you're a professional sports host and you have no idea what Fergie did before Manchester. It's personally crazy to me. Brandon.
Yeah, just on the City's treble, by the way. I've got a few stats here, right?
Hang on, we're going to come to the treble in a little bit, bro. We'll come to the treble in a minute and talk about that.
I do want to just say Pep is actually the definition of generational.
Yes.
Like he is. Like we love to throw that word around for players and all of these things. But if you want to talk about generational talent, the man was a young coach when he came into Barcelona. He was a young coach.
He's coaching the B team.
He had the B team, coming to the first team, dominated. Gone to Germany, dominated. Come over here, dominated. The way that nearly every player, I know there's some players that are not a fan of him, but nearly every player, thank God for the fact that they've got to be coached underneath him. Because the way that they've improved, he's not just had the best players in the world. He's improved average players into better players. He's improved good players into world-class players. And when he gets world-class players, he maintains their level. So many managers have had world-class players and they don't work out. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work.
KJ,
this guy is able to
KJ, this is the thing though. City fans say it all the time. They say it that we know that there's going to be a natural drop-off when Pep leaves. And a lot of them, they're looking at that day and they're a bit frightened because they don't know what's going to come from it. We don't know what next manager is going to come in. So yeah, you're right when you say generational because there's no one that can replace Pep. There's no one. I know you said the same thing about Aguero. They've got Haaland now, but when it comes to him, there's nobody at that level.
There is.
But what he's doing now is he is now. That's why he doesn't have a big squad. He's now got hybrid players that can play multiple positions now. We see it with John Stones this season. He's played centre back, right back, centre midfield. Nathan Ake's played left back. He even played Bernardo Silva sometimes at left back. That's what he's doing now. He played Fabian Delph at a left back in the Centurion season and made him a competent left back. This is what he's done. Okay. Now
I won the league with KDB as a 9.
You're going to see it. KDB went out, and it didn't really matter that much.
This is what the goats do, though. The Peps and the Fergies. I'm sure the Paisleys did this. I know Clough did this. Fergie was winning Premier Leagues with John O'Shea playing as a DM.
Didn't he play Phil Jones in midfield as well?
Yeah, yes, boy.
Phil Jones.
He did. I remember that. And Darren Fletcher at centre back, I'm sure.
And this is what those great managers can do. And that's why when I look at Pep, I don't like the criticism that he gets because I see so many similarities there. Dan Laguna here says, my opinion, Pep is the greatest now as he has done everything, but Sir Alex Ferguson is Sir Alex Ferguson is the better. They beat a better Arsenal team to the Prem and look up the teams United beat in the Champions League. And I think that kind of, when you look at this City treble, all trebles are outstanding. Barca's, Inter's, Man United's, Bayern's. The Premier League ones, I think we obviously look at them with a bit more bias because we know how good our leagues are. We know how tough they are. Like, where does this rank in terms of overall trebles? I want to go to Ben first on this one. Where does this rank overall for you in terms of trebles?
Well, obviously, I'm only 25 as well, so I don't remember United's. I was only a little kid. But yeah, no, this is the best team that we've seen, and this is why I just tonight I have been bitter. I have been one of those people that I've hated Pep, I've hated City, I've hated every bit of it. That's because I love my club so much, and this hurts because I know now they're going to go on to make it 2, then make it 3. I know what's going to come next. And I hope, and I put this on Twitter earlier, now he's won it. I hope he just, you know what else is there for me to do now? And I hope he goes tomorrow. That's what I hope. Look, you have to say, yeah, okay, he's had the money, he's done all of that. Brilliant. I remember using the same logic with Eddie Howe for Joe Linton in midfield. You can't buy those changes. Putting John Stones into midfield, letting him run the show. And you know what? I'll just say how I said it just then. I hope he leaves City tomorrow. I hope tomorrow I wake up to Pep Guardiola resigns and he's gone to Barcelona or something like that, because this is scary now. This is scary. They've won what, 4 or 5 in the last 6, or I don't know what the numbers are on past Kieran now.
5 and 7. 5 and 7. We can't miss that first year where he didn't win it. Like, I love how people take that first year off. They take that first year off. But no, listen, they are sensational. They are sensational. There's a super chat here that says, "Can we talk about the duo Stones and Diaz? 2 of them can go down as greats. It's crazy." Yeah, look, John Stones. I want to shout John Stones out in this treble-winning team, because Haaland and KDB and Grealish and Rodri, of course, they're going to get so much of the plaudits. John Stones is up there with Rio Ferdinand and John Terry as the best English centre-back this league has ever had. Now, defensively, those Rio and JT might be looked at as better. But when you add everything up, their footballing ability, their achievements in the game, which matter most, and their ability to defend, John Stones is up there with Rio Ferdinand and John Terry, in my opinion. And in fact, you could argue this guy's in the top 5 centre-backs in the history of the Premier League. Legitimately, in terms of achievements, footballing. How many of the other centre-backs that we rate could you literally put in a Champions League final in central midfield and they run the show? Like, from a footballing standpoint, Virgil van Dijk, could he play DM at his peak in a Champions League final? Would you have been happy if Klopp did that? The answer is no. Would I want Rio Ferdinand there, or Vidic there, or Stam? No. John Terry in midfield. Not for love nor money. Like, John Stones, for me, in the top 5 centre-backs in the history of the Premier League, in the top 3, maybe number 1 of English centre-backs, and the man's still, 28, 29, with years more to go. This kid's a genius. Do
you know what impressed me about the game today? Do you know what impressed me today? He did the brave things, right? A lot of players get scared and just pass it backwards or forwards and hide. He took the ball on the turn and was actually driving City forward, where Rodri first half was non-existent, really. Do you know what I mean? So that shows you a quality player. In the biggest game, he goes and takes the ball on the turn and drives with the ball and takes on people. That's just quality. He just went up so much in my estimation, because he was, I would say, arguably, if Rodri didn't score, he was the best Man City player.
Are you going to get him on your City shirt?
I've got a tip, guys. Have a good show. Congrats, Man City. Hope you crash and burn for the rest of the years. Goodbye.
In a bit, bro.
Sorry, someone said something there other than KJ.
Yeah, I wanted to say something.
I asked Zain, is he going to get him on his City shirt next season?
Yeah.
That's what I can hear you. Say a bit louder, bro.
Go on, Staffy.
No, I just wanted to say
so.
I want to praise Stones for what he did today, because I'm not going to lie. To be honest, I thought he was the best player on the pitch for City. He looked amazing, and they had a lot of good players today. So if you don't agree with that, it's fine. They had a lot of good players. It's not a disrespect that I'm saying Stones was the best, in my opinion. Here's where I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit. I want to remind people that 7 years ago, they spent 50 million on Stones, and Pep Guardiola got absolutely dunked on for that. People made fun of him so much. Stones used to make so many mistakes in that first season, giving the ball away and all that. And I'm going to use this as a testament to respect Pep, to show you how, when you work 7 years under Pep, how much you can develop as a player, because he needed to make these mistakes in his first, second, third year to become the player that he is today. Now, I'm just going to disagree with you, Terry, because I feel like it's a bit of a stretch to what you said about him, because I cannot praise him and say he's top 5 center backs because he did a job in the DM today. This is where I'm just going to disagree with you. I was actually going to give him credit and say, I don't think this guy should go back to playing as a center back, because he looks absolutely flawless in that midfield, playing in that system with the ball and without the ball. He looks so press resistant. Today, I'm not going to lie, he looked like prime Busquets out there. Every time he got the ball, It's just like he would get pressed, and I'm sitting there excited. I'm like, oh, he doesn't see that someone's gonna press him or whatever. They might get the ball off him. This guy was not losing the ball in any area of the pitch, and he did not look nervous at all. So that's why I'm saying he was the best player today. I just wouldn't say he's top 5 center backs because the whole season he's been doing a great job in the midfield, which is why I'm saying maybe you promote him into being a permanent midfielder and put him in the DM conversations because he's absolutely amazing there. But saying he's top 5 is a little bit of a stretch because, like, you know, it's amazing to see what he did today. But yet again, these players that you compared him to actually had to get down dirty and do the defensive job. So it's a little bit too much for me to compare.
I wouldn't put him up there with John Terry and Rio, but I would put him in the top 5 conversation, 100%.
I understand that, but this is what I would say though. Question, and this is I'm playing devil's advocate here. So if we're not going to put a modern day defender in or above the John Terrys and the Rios because football was different back then and they had to do a different job, how are we comparing teams from now to teams of past eras?
I would compare him to the exact position, Terry. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't a defender.
No, it doesn't work though. If you can't compare defenders from different eras because the game's changed, you can't compare teams. I'm not having to go at you personally. But this is why I wasn't even doing it to bring up this conversation, but it has organically. You either can compare eras or you can't, because the game does change. And like I said earlier, it was harder in the 70s for goalkeepers. They didn't wear fucking gloves and the balls were bigger and heavier. Does that mean all those goalies are better than goalkeepers now who have like gloves where it's basically like Spider-Man's hands where the ball stick to them almost in comparison? I get where you're coming from. Guys, I'm going to come to more of your points. I want to go to the super chats because there's so many of them. And I don't want to disrespect the viewers here. This one here says Pep destroyed Bayern and Real Madrid. There's levels. In terms of this year's treble, which actually was what the question was, did this City team beat top-class, world-class Bayern Munich and Real Madrid teams?
No, they're in transition, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we can't really use that argument though, because that's the same argument that people were using against United when it came to the Carabao Cup and the opponent that they faced. That's not their fault. That's not their problem. That Bayern Munich haven't got their shit in check and Madrid haven't got their shit in check. So we can't really use that.
The question is though, Don, like when people are comparing it to other clubs' trebles, if you're beating when Man United beat Juve as an example, and Inter in '99, they were 2 of the best teams in the world. The point is, if you're saying
the level of the quality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Onto the conversation. I think.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But the thing is, no one's seriously questioning though whether this City is an elite level team. So I understand what you're saying. Otherwise, I understand what you're saying about did they beat teams of the ultimate highest quality? Maybe not. That's our opinions, but unquestionably, this City team is one of the best teams in Premier League history. One of the best teams, arguably, in European football history.
Can I get my say on this where I rank it? Because I think the closest one that we can rank it to, and not that there's any bad trebles, obviously. Seeing which, like I don't want anyone to feel offended. Oh, look at this Man United fan trying to downplay the treble. Like, no, they're all amazing trebles. If you did the treble, it's different. But I look at this one a little bit more. If you guys remember, what was it? It was 2015 when Barca did the treble with MSN. Do you guys remember that one? I think it was
2015. Yeah,
14-15. There you go. Yeah. This one reminds me a little bit of that one because the way I don't think it's the hardest, but I think it's one of the most dominant trebles. And I feel like when I say the hardest, I put, like, let's say as an example, I put the Man United one and the Inter Milan one in a different category because they were not dominating teams, but they beat very big teams to win that. And they weren't really that dominant. Whereas you look at this City team and that Barca team in 2015, they were actually dominating people as they're winning. Like they dominated Juventus in that final. Yeah. But to me, obviously, now I'm going to just get to the last point and someone else can go. The best treble I've ever seen was the one that Barca did against us in 2009. Because let's remind people that they didn't just do a treble. They won 6 trophies that season. They were the first team in history to win every trophy available. So that one I put on a different level because at that year, they also had the best player in the world, Messi, and they were just blowing everyone out of the water. There was good teams. What's that?
How could they win all 6 trophies available? Because they weren't European champions in 2008. Which means they couldn't have won the World Club Championship.
Carrying on to because you know how you carry on to the FIFA after. So they won the Super Cup and then they carried into the FIFA.
Cool,
yes,
cool.
yes.
I
Like
get
Bayern
you.
in
I get what you
2021,
mean now.
20 and 2021.
That's why in the Ballon d'Or ceremony, when Messi won it that year, they actually put all 6 trophies next to each other for him.
I get you guys. Just because there's a lot of you on the panel, you're not all going to get to stand everything. Otherwise, literally, we'll be here till the next Champions League final. Liverpool are the best, are the biggest of England. Sorry, I can't even read. Liverpool are the biggest of England for their achievements in England and Europe. We don't care for trebles. You guys use that to make you bigger. Fair enough. If that's how you feel, bro. Ronnie Johnson, good. Alex Ferguson, most underrated player. Ronnie Johnson was amazing. He was great. He really, really was. Shout out to Edison. Although he didn't have too much to do, John Stones is a legend, man. You can't refute that. Edison had a little bit to do towards the end.
He had some good saves in the end, yeah.
He did. Congrats on the accomplishment, City. Took you long enough, though. It was starting to get lonely at the top. Glory, glory, Man United. Of course, so along with this treble, though, and we're going to come to that in a second, actually. Can we talk about Jones? Oh, sorry, already done that super chat there. Thank you very much, Lang. Sweet. Pep is a great man. I'm glad he won. Shout out to Rodri for that goal. Is the most improved player I've ever seen. Well, him and Gundogan. Yeah, Rodri's ride after that really average first year has been out of this world. And there was a big debate about 3 months ago. Casemiro, Partey, Rodri. I think Rodri's got the crown for now. Like after how he's ended the season, let's just end the debate now.
He wasn't even that good today. He wasn't even that good today, to be fair. But he
got the goal.
He still turned up. He still turned up.
But came up clutch. In terms of doing trebles, I want to ask you this question, Brandon. Is a treble harder than being invincible? And what is the better of the two achievements in your opinion as a Gooner?
Of course, it's a treble tell. You get 3 trophies. In invincible season, you get 1. Like
A gold one.
The only reason Arsenal fans will ever use that as an excuse is because it just, oh well, we've gone invincible, so that surpasses everybody else's achievement. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Just on City's treble, by the way. City's treble, right? In the Champions League, they didn't lose a single game this season. They had to play Borussia Dortmund in the group stage. They had RB Leipzig along the way as well, a decent side. They had Bayern Munich. They had the kings of Champions League, Real Madrid. And then, of course, Inter Milan tonight as well. Then when you bring it back to the FA Cup, up until the final against Manchester United, they hadn't conceded a single goal until that final. And then when you bring it back to the Premier League, just to reiterate how good Manchester City are at the business end of the season, from January onwards, they only lost 3 games and drew 2 games, right? And one of them losses and one of them draws came in the last 2 games when they was concentrating on other things and played weaker sides, right? So this team is ridiculous. And not only that, let's just reiterate as well, Erling Haaland hasn't turned up for about 5 weeks. Like, they haven't even needed him.
He scored in
one. How ridiculous this side is.
He scored in one of his last 8, bro.
You know what really? What I was envious today. Most other teams, if your best midfielder goes off injured, you become weaker. They had Phil Foden to come on, who, by the way, that twist and turn from him where he went through on goal. Oh, I was so annoyed that how weak his shot was. In terms of the situation regarding treble, somebody sent me this video. I don't know what said in it, but let's have a little listen here. Let's have a little listen.
To us a lot that he would have swapped his invincible season for a Champions League winners medal. Would you say that? Would you have done that?
Yes, but in football you have not the choice.
Yes, so there, Arsene Wenger confirms that the treble is bigger and better. Maybe not harder to do, but who cares about difficulty when you've got 3 trophies? It's as simple and as straightforward as that. If City passed Arsenal, why have you all gone unbeaten? Can't say that after one Champions League. Villa and Forest are above us. Don't let the moment fool you. We've just become the 4th most successful club in England over Chelsea. Again, it's true. They've now got more major trophies than Chelsea, Man City.
Crazy.
They are now bigger than
this
Chelsea.
This what I was saying, Andrew. Uncomfortable conversations if they do the treble. Remember I said it.
No. I'm very comfortable.
I'm comfortable because we've got more
listen,
European heritage, but they're pushing. They're pushing.
The COVID one doesn't count.
I hope every
So your COVID league doesn't count?
One game in COVID.
But,
We even had fans in the stadium in our
I
one.
hope every club outside of City looks at this. And this is a moment in time for every Premier League club who has aspirations to win something and go, do you know what? We need to do what they're doing. They're the best run club in the world. Yeah, the best run club in the world. And they are matching off the pitch with on the pitch. Someone's going to put, they've got 115 charges. Well, until that happens, that we can't talk about that. But right now, they're the best run club in the world. And I would even say this. I don't even think this is the best City team under Pep. And they've won the treble.
I agree.
They've won the treble.
I agree.
This is where I disagree, though. I think it is the best team because they
because they've
gone and won the treble. And
this
is the thing. All the City fans are celebrating tonight. They're not talking on shows, but they would swap their 100-point season for another treble. Everybody would. It doesn't matter what you like. Liverpool fans, when you won your first Premier League trophy, if I said, right, give that back. 19th league title, the Premier League trophy. Give that back to me. How many points did you get that year? 95, 96, 97?
1998.
99 points. You would give those. You would win it with 75 points to do a treble or a quad. You just would. So that's my view. I want to ask a question though, because a lot of people have put this into the comment sections, and it's trending right now. Trending on Twitter is 115. As much as City have done this, and it was always going to come up tonight, the mainstream media won't talk about it, but fan channels should. Is there a possibility, though, as much as what you've said, Anthony, is Andrew, is true? They're well run, brilliant. They want to do what it is they want to do. But is there an element of this that is potentially going to be tarnished because of these allegations that are against them? Or is that something that should not be discussed until they're proven guilty?
My thing is this. Listen, it's always going to be up there until it's sorted out. But the thing is, we can't actually put any fundamentals to it because nothing's been proven yet at all. So we can't actually sit down and go, yeah, well, it's all tainted at the moment. Until something's actually proven that they've done something and it takes it away, then for me, I can't really talk about it because nothing's been proven. People are going to go, yeah, you got 115 charges, but wait till it happens. We don't even know how long it's going to take for these actual things to be heard about. They might win another two or three Champions Leagues in between that time.
It's going to take a couple of years to even settle it, yeah.
Until it's actually proven, then I can go, yeah, well, it doesn't. You can strip away everything because they've done everything illegally. Until it's proven, though, I'm not bothered about this 115 charges until it happens. So
it shouldn't be a discussion.
The issue is, right, like, it does need to be discussed. The thing is that this topic has come up when it comes to Liverpool. Should, if they get found guilty, should titles be handed to Liverpool? I don't want any titles handed to Liverpool. Whether they take away from City is a different matter. But these charges have been brought in a season where Arsenal were challenging them for the league. Right now, they may have occurred in the past, but if it turns out that the basis for this incredible team has taken away a league title from Arsenal, for example, Arsenal fans have a right to feel pretty damn aggrieved about it, because all of this stuff is built on the basis of potential fraudulence. Because we're not just talking about them doing stuff with FFP. We're talking about their actual accounts being falsified. Like this is really, really serious stuff.
Do you know, Rex? What I'll say to this, right? The most team who should be over this is the 2 years you lost out by a point.
But the thing is,
not
I
Arsenal.
I
think everybody does if it's true, because
it's true, yeah.
City's great run of form came from the day after the charges came out. Since those charges, they galvanized and they went to another level.
Yeah.
I look at it this way: if they've done it, they need to be massively punished. I think what I find, I'm a Man United fan, so maybe I'm sensitive about this. I saw journalists today buzzing about Sheikh Mansour. What a great guy. First time he's been here in 13 years. It's amazing. What an owner. In articles yesterday, they were condemning the idea of Qataris owning Man United and stating that the Premier League should investigate source of funds. So I think for me, that's where I'm more frustrated. It's okay. So in one breath, you're saying money from that region of the world needs to be investigated. The very next day, you're talking about how amazing an owner from that same area, same region is. But underneath this massive success, which is being put out as the greatest ever, there is a question mark. And I will say this, there is a question mark over it, because it needs to be proven or they need to be found innocent either which way. And City fans will say they don't care about it, but I think when they're sober, I think when they're sitting down, maybe alone at night, maybe laying in bed, there'll be a slight fear in them. Like, oh God, what if? Just what if? And even for City fans, and I've said it all along, they need a resolution so they know whether they cheated or whether they're innocent. Because while it remains, it's there. And I will say this: there are some members of the media who are going to make themselves look really stupid by some of the things that they have said. But look, it's one of those things. Rivals are obviously going to go on about it, but until it gets proven either way, it's going to be a difficult thing to have a conversation with. This here says the disrespect to Ancelotti is unbelievable. I hear you. Champions League pedigree and all that. This here says from Gav says different football, but 2-3-5 and 3-2-5 was a thing in the first half of the 90s. Yeah, most
first half of 1900s, he said.
1900s, sorry.
Yeah, the WM, the WM formation back in the day.
2-3-5.
Most tactics are not new. You know, people keep talking. Most tactics aren't new. They just get new names. Like Dean Saunders got cooked for it on TalkSport, but when it was like, he said that he couldn't believe when his son was telling him that now 2v1s are not called 2v1s in attacks; they're called numerical advantages. You know, sitting deep is now a low block. Like there's certain words that are now used to make things sound like.
Can I say something on that, Terry? Actually,
low block is just parking the bus, right?
yeah.
Let me just say something quick on that, Terry, because a lot of people dismiss this, and I like to bring this up a lot because I think this guy is one of the most important and integral people in football history. Johan Cruyff. I mentioned this before, and Mo. I hope he's doing well now, actually, because
he's fine. He's screaming.
Oh, okay. He kind of tried to dismiss it. So I was saying a thing because a lot of people say the way that Pep plays football, he invented it. And I always try to go back and remind them that he actually didn't invent that. It was Johan Cruyff who invented this style of play in Holland, and then he took it over to Barcelona. Now, granted, Pep evolved it into becoming what it is today. But I remember Mo's argument was that, well, he didn't really dominate Europe with it. But that's very dismissive. It's like dismissing who created the computer because, like, later on, people came in and improved that technology. You know what I mean? Like, someone still had to invent it. You know what I mean? So I think it's very dismissive because. But here's the thing, Rack. Just let me finish my. Let me just finish my point and then go ahead. The thing is, like, there would have never been a Pep if he didn't work under Johan Cruyff because he's one of his students. He played under his style of football that he brought into Barcelona, and he perfected it and learned from him. And he always gives him, by the way, he personally gives him praise for learning that. So I just want people to just stop saying that he invented it and dismiss Johan Cruyff.
This is when, and that's it's like saying the Wright brothers were awful inventors because modern day planes are better than the ones when they invented flight. And that's the problem with kids. It's yes, footballers now look better. Managers now are better. Tactics are better. But that's because every generation builder sits upon the shoulders of the previous generation. If football doesn't continue to get better, you're failing. You're failing. And when I used to do martial arts, legitimately, my coach, he despised what he called belt factories, where every 3 months kids get graded and they get a belt, good, bad, or indifferent, and you end up with terrible quality martial artists. His view was on day one, you could get a black belt, but you may be here 20 years and never get one. You had to be of a certain standard. And his ideology was, I need to make all my students better and more knowledgeable than me at the given martial art. So when they teach it, the standard continues to rise over the generations. It doesn't get worse and worse and worse. And that should be how everybody is. So Pep should be better. The people that learn from Pep, it's hard to get better, but should, again, another level up. It's the same with sprinters. Sprinters should consistently, over a period of time, beat the world records. Because you learn what did this guy do? The foods and the diets are better. If you're not getting better, there's a problem. So maybe there'll be a certain point where human beings can't get any quicker.
Yeah, Steffi, what I would say on that point, what I would say on that point, maybe a lot of people don't speak about Johan Cruyff because they're not old enough or they don't know much about it to even speak about it. Because
what I'm here for.
A lot of the kids in this era now, if Mikel Arteta completely flips Arsenal and they start winning all these major trophies and Mikel goes on to bigger things and he continues winning, they're all going to big up Pep and say he learned a lot of that from Pep. So I wouldn't say that they dismiss it. I just feel like a lot of kids don't know much about it.
Yeah, that's it.
But even Johan Cruyff was preceded by Rinus Michels. Rinus Michels was the founder or the inventor or whatever you want to call it, architect of total football. Rinus Michels managed Johan Cruyff. Johan Cruyff then took that school from Ajax and then went to Barcelona. So even goes even further back than Pep. Like we always build on the shoulder of giants, like Tel said.
The thing is, a lot of people would credit the Brazilians and the like for skillful, flamboyant football. It's Hungarians who started this stuff. You know, and England had one of the best football teams in the world, and then we played Puskas' Hungary. And I remember watching a documentary and listening to the radio punditry, and they just sort of said, we are seeing something we have never witnessed before on a football pitch. The skills and when you watch the footage of it now, they look really slow and tiresome. But they were doing tricks and skills that had never been seen before in football.
They invented it, yeah.
Which we say invented. And equally, football, Matt Busby, the football Man United were playing under Sir Matt Busby was groundbreaking for its time in the 50s. And these things just, again, it's hard to have these conversations.
Origo Saki in Italy.
Sorry, I need to get through some more of these super chats, guys. Really, really sorry. Sir Alex Ferguson, probably like, I'm done. It's over. I can't take it anymore. Eric Ten Hag, please do something to the Glazers. Team up with Qatar to do a hostile takeover. We can pray. What if the 115 resolutions is just a fine? Yes, Brandon.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this 115, you know.
As quickly as you can, because we're running out of time.
Because I have a different outlook on it to probably other people. Although I think an element of their achievements will be tarnished, I don't think it should be held against the players and the manager. Because although, let's just say all these charges are true and City have falsified accounts and stuff like that in order to be able to spend more money than what they should actually be able to spend. Regardless of the money that they've spent on the players that they've spent it on, the manager still has to get the best out of these players in order to achieve what they've achieved.
Very true. So, I get you. But let me just throw a counter in there. Would this City team be as good if on their? I'm just going to get their bench up today because I don't quite remember who was on their bench.
Odin came on, Walker.
Hang on, hang on a sec. I'll get it up on my screen, and I want to read names out specifically. If on their bench today, they didn't have Mahrez, they didn't have Foden, they didn't have Ortega as a goalie all season, they didn't have Laporte, and they didn't have Alvarez, and they had players of El Neni's level, would City be as good?
I mean, they wouldn't be bringing on Foden today when De Bruyne got injured.
You're right.
So my point is, yes, it doesn't take away from these players, but if that squad shouldn't be there, you wouldn't be able to achieve what he's achieved.
However, I've got a counter to that because hasn't Manchester United spent more than Manchester City since Manchester City have had Sheikh Mansour? So
yes, but
it's all right saying, yeah, well, City have got that bench and they've got all these players, and that Manchester United could have had that if they spent their money correctly.
No, I agree. I completely agree with you on that. But if City didn't have the money to do it, it's still an irrelevant argument because they shouldn't have been able to have done it. So all I'm saying is this. City right now, I will praise and credit them for everything they've done. We need to understand the severity of the charges. Are they guilty or not? And if they are guilty, we need to know of what and what it allowed them to do. And that's really key for fans. So, okay, they're guilty of financially documenting things. If you're talking 3 or 4 million quid and they would have been able to build the squad anyway, it was literally a handful of wages wouldn't have got paid. For me, that's minimal. And you're like, it's there or there. If they falsified over 10 years, £500 million, which allowed them to build this world-class squad, then I don't think you can look beyond it. The problem is everything's speculation because we don't know. So it's a very difficult thing in every direction. This here says Puskas, 84 goals in 85 games for Hungary. And by the way, back in those days, only the good football nations had international teams. You were playing against the best. Total football did not invented by Cruyff, but Cruyff is a Dutch coach. Facts. Thank you, Chombai. Even if guilty in 5 years, the Prem wouldn't take anything away. It means the last 15 years of trophies mean nothing, and the Prem would look terrible. I think it looks worse if they don't punish cheaters if they are guilty. I don't think City are a bigger club than Arsenal because we have significantly more major trophies. However, they are probably surpassing us in a decade or so. I swear they're only about 5 or 6. I think you're about mid-30s, and they're in like the high 20s. In 2 seasons, they could surpass you. Like, they're coming for Arsenal.
Completely. In the Premier, they've left you. They've left you completely.
They only have to match what we've achieved to surpass us, Terry, because we've not won a Champions League. So to me, that's already. Do you know what I mean?
Brandon, I'm seeing tweets already about the Invincibles. This is what it's got to.
Yeah, it's all these little virgins online, bro. They can't talk about anything else apart from the Invincibles, and that's it.
Bro, I've never heard anyone start a season and they're asking them, what are your goals for this season? And they go, well, I want to go invincible. No, everyone wants to win the trophies. Everyone's like, yeah, hopefully we can win every trophy possible. Not
Facts.
One person starts saying, well, you know what? I hope we go undefeated this season because, you know, that's a great achievement. We're going to tie Arsenal. No one ever does that.
No. So just in terms of total, I don't know. I've just gone onto Wikipedia. So it might be... Why is this not coming off my screen? It's annoying. Sometimes these damn things freeze. Why is this not coming off my screen?
Is it because of the comment you're showing?
Yeah, but I'm trying to click on the comment and make it go away. Now it's gone away now. It might Liverpool 68 trophies, Man United 67. Liverpool got 48 trophies. Sorry, Arsenal 48 trophies. City now on 32. So they are actually that's like 16 away. So they average three trophies a season at the minute. Like, it seems far away, but in 3 or 4 seasons' time, that could look very, very close indeed. So they are coming. This says here that Chelsea is still ahead by 2 trophies. By the way, that's Wikipedia though. We know it can.
But they count all the community shields as well in those totals, don't they?
They do count community shields as well. Yes.
And Audi Cups to Spurs fans. I didn't want to leave you out.
This here says City 23 relentless machine. Barca 08-09 was magic. Yes, they both were. The fact that Pep pulls this off makes me wonder why former players love him. He knows what he is doing. Absolutely.
I'll Zlatan if he loves him. I'll Zlatan.
Yeah.
Shout out
Well, Samuel Eto's not a fan either.
Yeah, Samuel Eto's not a fan. City would have a quad if it wasn't for Southampton. Maybe they could have done. Thank you, Southampton. If City win one more Champions League, they will surpass us, is what Alex, the Chelsea fan, says. They could do. Already done that one on Ancelotti, the disrespect. Pep's triangles at Barca in 09 was by far the best, is what Ricky
Best team I've seen.
Yeah, they were out as well. Man City never won the Champions League until Calvin Phillips came to the football club. Which is, I suppose, factually is very, very true indeed. But as I say, like, overall, let's listen, nothing but congratulations and admiration really for what City have done. It hurts me to say it as a Man United fan, I'm not going to lie. And I'm sure on the Top 6 show on Monday, we're going to delve into this in a lot more detail. One of the best teams, forget Premier League, England has ever had. It matches Man United's treble. You know, one of the best, in some people's eyes, the best single season ever. One of the best footballing teams ever. Another great night for Pep Guardiola and his team. Congratulations to Rodri, because you have just etched yourself into football folklore forever with that goal. Remember, Topps now are sponsoring us tonight. They're going to have some amazing playing cards. Not that you actually play with them. They're more collectibles, available very soon after the final. And City fans watching, they're probably going to be worth some money in the future, because they're going to be cards taken from your first ever Champions League win in your first ever treble winning season. So go and sign up now by scanning that QR code or clicking on the link below. Gentlemen on the panel, I want to thank all of you. Sorry we couldn't get more callers on tonight. Sorry everyone who's backstage. I really do apologize. To all of my super chatters, you're amazing. We're back tomorrow. Straight Facts at 6 o'clock with Sav. We're going to be probably reviewing this. We're talking about Mason Greenwood tomorrow and his potential return and a few more things as well. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again.